Yo, what is good, everybody? What is good, yo? So, is anyone else kind of surprised that they took the easy route with this episode and pretty much made us wait until whenever they feel like they want to show us, whatever's coming next? They kind of just held out this week's episode, which I'm not fully surprised by because Boruto and Naruto are the same series. So this was definitely a reoccurring type of thing that always happened within the series. This choice to not push forward into the actual narrative, but to um, kind of give us some insight into what the person like Boruto, for instance, this week's episode, just what he's going through in his mindset and like what he's actually seeing and stuff like that. So I thought it was interesting, but I'm pretty sure a lot of people are very disappointed. But that can't be helped with this episode. It was definitely more. It was definitely more. Uh, Not, I wanted to say not thought upon, but it was more. It was easy to see this episode coming, unlike some of the other times they do it. Simply because it's like, oh, this is Boruto's wish, and the whole time in the previews, he's not doing anything, but pretty much was sleeping and stuff. So, um, for me anyway, it wasn't surprising that this was coming. I pretty much saw it coming. Uh, I mean, sure, I didn't see it lasting all the way to them jumping off saying, "Yeah, let's do this." I mean, there was so much time that went by. One of the kids somehow had a kid. Like he's literally a father now. So just by putting that into perspective, you can understand that quite a bit was going on, regardless of Boruto being incapacitated and whatnot. So I'm still very interested to see just how you guys are feeling about this, because at this point in time, uh, Boruto is a series where I don't know if they have like these, if they keep having these types of moments, will people last? Will people keep coming back to watch something like this? And I think if they keep delivering it in a well way, I think people will. I think people can enjoy this. I'm not saying necessarily people enjoyed this episode in general. Holy crap, that's sick. Um, but at the least, we did get a lot of information that might have been left out with these recent animes that kind of just like to skim over the things that they don't necessarily deem as important, and because of that, we sometimes miss out on key details. But with this week's episode, the key details here is one that these creations are definitely not. Some of them can be not matured and stuff like that. So if that's the case, if there's like unmatured bodies of these people that he's using, it's probably safe to say that he might be using them in the sense of not only older adults, but even children. So we're getting into a pretty dark place in Boruto, in my opinion. If it is children being used for this experiment that he's creating these clones and stuff like that. If he uses like children's essence or like children's souls or something to manifest what we're seeing in this week's episode, that'd be pretty messed up, man. Um, but other than that, we also get to just see. I was kind of right when it comes down to the snake and Boruto being, partners and stuff like that. It just goes to show you that with him helping Boruto in this situation in his own way, where he probably didn't even think it was going to actually help. I think Boruto being someone who seemed like he was very alone all the time, can take comfort in knowing that the snake guy is literally going to give his honest opinion regardless of the situation, regardless if he likes Boruto, regardless if, uh, he doesn't get to eat them and stuff like that, he's going to give his opinion. And his opinion this week just might have saved Boruto from not falling further into despair like he already had been. So it's cool to see that type of connection, like the Kurama Naruto connection again, kind of being built up, but definitely on a smaller scale of devastating power. And I guess I can't say too small of a scale because we really don't know the full potential of him literally giving off his chakra to somebody to work together with them, besides what we saw, um, when he got betrayed and whatnot. So if there's a case where he might be even stronger than he was back in his prime when we saw him, we might see it with him being with Boruto, is all I'm saying. So I can't wait to see if that's what type of bond we get throughout the rest of this, or if it's going to be something a little bit more different. Like it is going to be how I pictured it, where it's going to end probably short-lived after this arc is actually over, and he kind of just doesn't want a partner, or they just act like they don't want to be with each other, and maybe he has like that Sasuke card where his Sarada went there, and that snake was trying to protect, Sarada. So he could be in that type of graces with this snake at the end of this week's episode, or not this week's, but at the end of this arc of this show. And I just think that would be a smarter move on their, like a smarter play for him to just have someone in that like snake world that he could rely on, compared to just continuously having him with that like strong teammate. Like I don't know if that's gonna last long, but I have been wrong before, and that's just my prediction on the episode, on that instance. But from what I can understand, with the land of the Earth, it really feels like they're getting away with a lot. Um, it really feels like they're just going to continue doing whatever they're doing, and no one can really do a whole lot about it, because they don't the main first of all, the main person who's the head of it all has been captured by people that are like, under her. And not to mention, after being captured, no one in the leaf, no one in the earth like raised any alarms, seemingly from what we could tell. It's not like Boruto and Sarada saying how far away they were from the place. It's not like they announced like, "Oh man, as soon as something went on, people were ringing bells and their main leader's gone." It's like no one knows that happened because it was so quick and so to the point. So that's kind of where I'm getting at. Like somehow, some way, these guys just came in and utterly just destroyed everybody. And after doing so, uh, they end up pretty much just waltzing out. They just did what they needed to do, and they did. So it's hard for me to believe we're going to see, you know, characters that supposedly can, defeat some of these strong, ridiculously powered people. Whenever, some of them don't even have a chance. Like some of them are so in their ways that if they do try to attack the wrong people, they shouldn't have a chance in winning. Like Boruto and all of them running into this village, whoever just beats someone that's a Hokage level, they should have no chance against them. But that should have been said about Boruto and his groups versus, the other people that were much, much weaker than I'm gonna do that mission. There's people way weaker than Boruto and what's his face? Sarada and not Mitsuki, but I can't think of his name right. Shikadai. There was people way weak, like strong, supposedly stronger than him in the Hidden Leaf, and they were there and they lost, and then they show up and they handled the same thing and didn't lose the way that they lost. So it's really in the air for me when it comes down to them showing me just what the heck they're trying to say about these characters. Are they much stronger than all of the ninjas above them, like besides Hokage and like the maybe the shinobi, the Anbu shinobi? Like, how strong is Boruto and all of these kids? Because seemingly they're nowhere near as weak as they should actually be at this rank. And if that's the case, I think we're going to be in for a rude awakening when it comes down to finding out just how many people um, actually are on Boruto's level. Gives them a much higher power scaling than if they were just on a whole, a Junin level or a Jinin or whatever you call it. So very, very interesting way of them messing up with people's levels and just the kids' levels in general, saying how strong they are compared to the other ninjas just by them beating other monsters that they can't beat. It kind of gives you a picture that they're trying to paint that um, some of these guys just might not be nearly as strong as they used to be, and because of that, it really puts all these other ninjas who's been grinding day in day out in a tough position because they look pretty doo-doo, like how are you gonna show these kids how it's done and you aren't even strong enough, to hold your own. um man, like this show is definitely pushing the boundaries to just saying the kids are so much stronger than most of the adults. And it's funny because that's kind of where Naruto went sooner or later throughout the series. So we'll see if that continues to be a trend or if they actually start putting some name, like some credit on the names of some of these higher level shinobis that are getting bodied as if they're on the same level as Boruto or lower. So with that all being said, I hope you guys enjoyed. Oh my god, I almost got spotted by her. Um, if you guys did enjoy, let me know in the comments down below, and let me know also what you think about uh, Boruto and all these ninjas that are much younger than, like even sometime when Naruto was, and they're kind of doing feats that Naruto was doing at those times. So really interested to see if people are even keeping up with it or not. But other than that, I will talk to you guys in the next one. Pretty slow day for anime this day, but regardless, at least the channel got some content on it, and I hope you guys do enjoy at least having something to watch. So with that, I will talk to you in the next one. Take care, have a good day, night, morning, whatever the case is, and I will talk to you next time. All right, peace.